You know how I'm always finding new music to try out for our K-pop training? Well, today was a different melody, quite literally. I ended up at a tech conference of all places. I mean, who'd have guessed, right? I'm more used to tuning vocals than talking tech, but life sometimes throws you a curveball. There was this presentation about AI creating music. You might think it's all about algorithms and numbers, but it was like watching poetry in motion, kind of like one of our dance sequences culminating into a music extravaganza. The guy I was talking to, this chap named Max, he works on designing the algorithms. Quite the waltz between music and math, isn't it? Anyways, he was explaining how AI is mimicking human creativity and composing tunes. Seems like our future songwriting might be one funky collaboration with bots. Fun as it sounds, it also got me thinking about what makes a song ours, you know? Is it just about the music or also the emotions behind it? Even if AI composes music to perfection, can it capture the swing of our sentiments? It's got my brain buzzing like a guitar string. While we're on the subject of unexpected, guess who I ran into at the conference? Your tech nerd friend Max. The conversation between us was a live musical, a K-pop trainee and a tech nerd jamming about AI music. You could mistake us for the strangest boy band in the making. I even jested with him about writing an algorithm for calming pre-audition jitters since Heejin was rehearsing her moves in the chat group. Oh, I have to mention Pierre's words of wisdom for the week. He said, "Always trust the music, it knows the way." Very Pierre-esque, if you ask me. And it's not just about trusting the music, but trusting ourselves and each other, right? Anyways, the tech conference certainly struck a chord, made me think about the dance between tradition and innovation in our industry. All right, enough of my tech meets tunes exploits. I've got a few more vocal exercises to finish before I call it a day here. As Pierre always says, trust the music. And on that harmonic note, I better get back to it. Just when I thought I'd plateaued, something unexpected got me on my toes. You remember how we've been trying to inject something new into our routines? A little bit of spice to stir up our dance DNA? Well, guess what? I got it. Inspiration can send you its postcard from the oddest of places. But who would have thought the street would have such a package for me, right? The street, the ground where freedom resonates with every fluttering leaf and each rippling puddle. So, while wandering around Seoul streets, I stumbled upon this incredible street dancer. His dance was not just the sway and whirl of limbs, but resonated with the beat of life, like a pulsating heart in sync with the tune of survival. It was raw, it was real, it was liberating. I wondered, what if I added a slice of street rhythm to my K-pop routine? A twang of rebel and melody, a brew of the free-spirited with the honed? So, I asked, and he taught me a fantastic freestyle element, a bit tricky but such a spectacle when done right. Somewhere between the backflips and b-boy tricks, I found myself intertwined with the spirit of the street I'd never connected with before. Now, I didn't just adopt a dance move, but a whole perspective on freedom, fluidity, and raw brilliance. I took it back to the studio, blended it into my classic jump-kick-jump choreography, and the infusion sparked a revolution. It was almost as if my routine had turned into a bilingual dialogue, speaking the refined language of K-pop along with the slang of the street. Don't you think it's a tad exciting? Funny how we started talking about Mars today, when I found my world flipped upside down right here on Earth, on a street no less. Who knew the key to breaking a plateau was just freestyling it up a bit? And speaking of our lovely chat group, it really got me thinking about food today. I ended up defrosting some leftover pizza and devoured that extra cheesy goodness. One could really use some comfort food after a challenging dance routine. You know, I liken my dance journey to baking a pastry. Just like adding a sprinkle of sugar can totally uplift an average croissant, adding a pinch of street spice has revolutionized my dance routine. Anyway, needless to say, I'm pretty buzzed about the dance thing. I can't wait for you and the gang to see it. I bet Hyejin and Pierre will flip. But speaking about flipping, somebody mentioned a French-Korean cooking face-off. What did you say? We really do it? My Coco Van versus Hyejin's Bibimbap, Kitchen Revolution 2023. Might as well dabble in a bit of fun cooking, right? And hey, let's see if Max's AI can really judge our cooking. It'd be some sight. Well, that's enough chit-chat for now. This little K-pop trainee has a mountain of vocal exercises to climb. Diving deep into the local music scene has its perks, doesn't it? I mean, only yesterday I was getting the taste of AI being the maestro, and today I'm found myself lost in the powerful enchantment of a traditional pansori performance. An elderly pansori artist, her face weathered like an old parchment filled with stories, was the showstopper of it all. Her voice, oh, her voice was a river carrying the brimming essence of Korea, flowing through centuries, echoing in the busy streets of Seoul. It filled the air, carrying with it a weight of tradition and history that reminded me of the depth classical music holds, a depth that often goes unnoticed in our constant chase for the new and the now. Caught in the stream of harmonies, I felt like I was being transported back in time, living and feeling the story she painted through her music. I'd heard of the beauty of pansori before, of course, but to experience it in person was like opening a door to a new understanding of the emotional power of music. It was, in its purest form, an awe-inspiring combination of raw emotion, cultural heritage, and unmistakable talent. Her performance has given me more than just a memorable experience. It's given me a fresh perspective. I have this urge to fuse the traditional with the modern, to mix the flavors of pansori in my K-pop repertoire. Adding layers to my music felt like painting a fusion masterpiece using modern patterns with old-world colors. You know what I mean, right? And speaking of fusion, it seems everyone in our chat group is playing mix and match. Max is spinning music with a tap dance with tech, while Heejin is satisfying her pasta cravings with jjajangmyeon. Pierre, on the other hand, is daydreaming of his beloved Marseille bouillabaisse. Our group surely knows how to blend, don't they? A sudden wave of longing for French delicacies did wash over me, though, thanks to Pierre. I mean, on a day like this, a foie gras macaron in Seoul, that wouldn't have been too bad, right? But well, in the absence of that, I settled for my favorite tteokbokki from the local street vendor. As for Pierre, we should definitely ship him some authentic bouillabaisse from Marseille to Seoul. Oh, how we all crave a taste of home sometimes, isn't it? While those AI masterminded melodies spin in Max's head, I bet he dreamt of his grandma's ossobuco at night. One little spark of reminiscence kindles a forest fire of nostalgia. You know what they should invent next? An AI that can recreate our mom's cooking. Imagine that. Pho, kimchi, coq au vin, spaghetti, all at the touch of a button. Oh, wouldn't that be a dream come true for us food junkies? But you know my life. No such luxury of experimental cooking today. My reality check arrives in the form of vocal exercises that need to be done. Duty calls, my friend.